How do economists measure true economic growth? Imagine trying to track a runner's progress during a race. You want to see how much they actually run, not just how fast they look on paper. That's similar to what economists do when they measure economic growth. They want to see how much a country's economy is really growing, not just how prices change. The main tool they use is called real gross domestic product, which is a fancy way of saying the total value of all finished goods and services produced inside a country during a certain time, adjusted for inflation or deflation. This adjustment is key because it removes the effect of rising or falling prices, giving a clearer picture of actual growth. Gross domestic product, or GDP, is the broadest way to measure a country's economic activity. It adds up everything made in the country, from cars to haircuts. But if you only look at nominal GDP, which uses current prices, you might think the economy is growing just because prices are higher. That's why economists prefer real GDP, which uses prices from a fixed base year to keep things consistent. For example, if the base year is 2020, all prices are adjusted to that year's prices, so we see real growth in production, not just higher prices. To see how growth affects people's lives, economists also look at GDP per capita. This divides the total real GDP by the population size, showing how much the average person might be benefiting from economic growth. If GDP per person is rising, it suggests that living standards are improving. There are three main ways to measure GDP. The first is the expenditure approach, which adds up how much people spend on goods and services, including investments, government purchases, and exports minus imports. The second is the income approach, which totals all the money earned by workers, businesses, and the government. The third is the production or value-added approach, which sums up the value added at each step of making goods and services. Ideally, all three methods should give the same result, confirming the accuracy of the measurement. Economic growth isn't just about how much stuff is made. It's also about productivity, which is how efficiently labor and capital are used to produce goods and services. When workers and machines get better at their jobs, the economy can grow without needing more workers. Job growth in productive sectors also signals a healthy economy. While real GDP is the main way to measure growth, it doesn't tell the whole story. Other measures like the Human Development Index look at health, education, and income equality to give a broader view of how well a country is doing. These extra measures help us understand if economic growth is actually making life better for most people. Finally, GDP figures are not set in stone. They are revised regularly as new data comes in from tax records, business reports, and surveys. This ongoing process helps improve the accuracy of economic measurements over time. In a system like capitalism, measuring true economic growth with real GDP fits well because it focuses on market output and production. Capitalist economies thrive on producing more goods and services efficiently. But to get a full picture of how well the economy is doing, policymakers also look at employment rates, productivity, and social indicators. This way, they can see if growth is translating into better lives for the people living in the country.